ready or not, the glory, the Shekinah of Yahweh, is about to be revealed. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4, Torah portion, Yitro. Let's go to Shemot, or Exodus, chapter number 19. And with the opening verse, there's some important information. The first verse says, "In the third new moon, after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai." Now let's do a little time calculation here. Israel left Mitzrayim, the land of Egypt, on the 15th of Aviv. They had then continued in their journey the entire 30-day month of Iyar. Then they enter into the wilderness of Sinai on the 1st of Sivan, the beginning of the month on the new moon. So we have then that they are in the wilderness for 45 days. 45 days. Let's also remember that Shavuot, or Pentecost, takes place on the 50th day. So we can say then that the events of chapter number 19 take 5 days. 5 days. Out of the 5 days, there are 3 days that Moshe says to the people, "Prepare yourself and set yourselves apart, because on the 3rd day, Yahweh is going to appear to you." The Torah, the 10 words in particular here is initially given, was given at Shavuot, or Pentecost. So for those that are unfamiliar with Shavuot being calculated at this time, Acts chapter number 2, the events when the day of Pentecost was fully come, according to the King James. This is the coming of the fullness of Shavuot. Shavuot, the Acts chapter 2 experience, is about the giving of the Torah, the actual commands of the Most High. But we thought it was about the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. It is. The prophets teach us that it is the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, that will inscribe the words of the Torah upon our heart. That is the act of the circumcising of the heart. That is the work of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the wind, the breath, the Spirit of Yah, inscribing His commands upon our inward being, so that we're not looking at a list of rules to obey, but rather we're now following the righteous inclination of a redeemed and restored heart. His word and our heart, that is our mind, our focus, our consideration, our meditations, are now synonymous. They are fully synchronized together. And our righteous heart, not the fleshly heart that will deceive us, but our righteous heart will lead us into the paths of continuing righteousness, and we will walk a walk that is well-pleasing to Him. Amazing, huh? So, what is it that's taking place here? I want to go down a little bit further, and Moshe is called up to the mountain, and Yah says to him, "Go down and tell these people that they are not to break through the barriers and try to look up here and gaze at me." And Moshe says in verse 23, Moshe said to Yahweh, "The people are not able to come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, 'Make a border around the mountain and set it apart.'" Yahweh said to him, "Come, go down and then come up, you and Aaron with you, but not let the priest and the people break through to come up to Yahweh, lest he breaks out against him." And Moshe went down to the people and spoke to them. Yah is in a panic, it would seem, the way we would read it. It would seem that he is greatly concerned that there are those among the camp of Am Israel that would try to come up and glory gaze or break through to his presence. And he is warning that those who try to break into his presence are those that he will break out against them. Trespassers of the Shekinah, the glory of Elohim. So what's being taught here? Well, for the next several moments, let me describe to you perhaps 4 things that I see that is taking place. Number 1, it is that we should not try to spiritually see beyond our ability to receive or to live or to try to exceed the status of our set-apartness. What do I mean by that? Yah spoke something to me many years ago that still leaves me kind of stunned and my mouth hung open when I consider it. Do not claim to have achieved a place before me, he said, that you're not willing to be set apart for. Don't describe a place of my glorious presence that you aspire to if you're not willing to be set apart for that place. Moshe had achieved a level of set-apartness, dedication to Yah, and separation from the things of this present world that enabled him to come up higher than any other man, and he conversed with the creator of all the universe face to face, panim al panim, separated by a very thin vapor of cloud. The immense, overwhelming glory of Elohim was just beyond his eyesight, and he heard the very audible voice of Yah express very detailed commands for his people to walk by. Moshe could have that place because he had been set apart to that place. For you and I to speak of things that we don't know of in order to sound super spiritual and be held in high esteem by our peers is mere folly. It's vanity. And Yah is not impressed. There were prophets who claimed to speak for him, and he said, do not listen to them, for I did not send them, and they do not speak my words. So we misunderstand that glory gazing is a dangerous occupation, peeping and muttering into the spirit realm by some other means than by the word and by the Ruach HaKodesh. If Yah gives you a dream, if he gives you a vision, if he gives you a word and it is genuine, it will be proven as such. Do not operate in folly. Number 2, not all Israel is Israel. Not everybody who is standing in the community of Israel walks in sufficient belief to embrace the manifested presence of the Most High. Yah will separate you and I, even among those who claim to be of like faith, according to the mark of Yeshua, whether we're walking in his likeness and obedience to his word or not. Number 3, borders and boundaries that mankind establishes are not always sufficient. We try to give guidelines and instructions and understandings of how to walk out the word. But sometimes we fail to fully describe what it is that Yah is requiring of us. I'm not trying to say that we need to be super strict at all of our observances, but we must maintain a sanctity of the Torah, an absolute pure revelation of Yeshua as the Torah reveals to us, as the prophets describe to us, and walk in authenticity with him. Man's borders are not always sufficient to declare that. And then finally, Moshe had the personal experience of close encounters with Yah, but Israel did not. Yah is about to be revealed to a people who are insufficiently set apart. Now, he's given them 3 days, but they're still not there, so much so that when the glory appears, they are afraid for their lives. Moshe, we can't handle it. You go handle it and bring it back to us. No matter how set apart we are, Yah is extremely set apart. There will always be a chasm between us. We must keep that in mind, that Yah is set apart. We must strive to be set apart in his likeness. A little more on this tomorrow. Until then, shalom.